Hello, and welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for September of 2023. We are the astrologers of Pandora Astrology. I'm Jamie Kale Miller. I'm in Berkeley, California.
And I'm Julia Mijas, and I'm in San Francisco, California.
Let's take a look at what's happening this month. Well, Capricorn, Juno is spending the month in your 8th house, where she's been since last month. She moved in there. She's going to be here until mid-October, and this is a house that Juno is not unfamiliar with. This is a house of intimate connections and serious relations, like sexual partners, spouse, or a business partnership, and most particularly situations where you share intimately, either financially or emotionally. So Juno, as the committed relator and social networker, does really well in this house. And it could be a really good time for sitting down with a partner that you have and having conversations about how there could be more equity, more balance, more fairness, more of a sense of a level playing field between you financially, and how you can run your finances together in the best possible way. And this is a really good month for those kinds of conversations. They can be difficult, but Juno is here to help and can really steer you towards a solution that works for everybody. Now, Ceres is traveling along through Libra, and in your 10th house. Ceres is about food, body, and money. And whenever a planet finds itself in the 10th house, it's going to have to work for it. It's going to find that things regarded to its themes are more difficult than usual, and that there is some achieving that can be done. So this could be a time when you achieve a new diet, when you achieve financially, when you achieve some better routines for your health or a better health status. And that can take work, but Ceres is good for it. It's an earthy house, and she's an earthy planet. And so she's very much about, taking a practical approach. So doing the work while she's in this house to, create that new budget, to create that new food plan, to get into those health routines and really be practicing them. This is sure to lead to reward. Now, in the middle of the month, September 15th, Ceres is going to move on into your 11th house. And so Ceres in the 11th house is kind of interesting because the 11th house is sort of a laboratory. It's ruled by Uranus. It's a place of experimentation and trying things new. So it's a little bit of a volatile place. It's also a place of community and friends and networks. So a couple of possibilities here. One is that you might find yourself wanting to join a group or hang out with friends who eat the same way that you do to support you around a new way of eating that you may be trying out as an experiment. The same can apply to your finances. You may find yourself wanting to join a group or even online, join a website or get involved with a network of people who are managing money and who have advice and wisdom as a group about better ways for you to do that. And you might find the support of a group really useful, especially if you are thinking of doing any experimenting with your money. And Ceres is going to continue in this house into next month. Now, Jupiter is traveling along through Taurus this year, has entered into your 5th house, bringing you a Jupiter luck year in the 5th house domain. This is a house of children. It is a house of fun, pleasure, play, and entertainment and hobbies. And so Jupiter in this house is like a year-long reminder that fun and play are important. And you can really grow and expand in your hobbies and take a lot of pleasure in that during a year like this. Now, this is also the house of your personal brand. And if you want to discover yourself and engage in some creative projects, this is a really great year for growing that way too. Getting to know yourself better, showing yourself to the world in a bigger way, and feeling confident enough to do it. And if you have an online presence that matters in your business, this could be a really good time for headshots and writing bios and that sort of thing. Now, this month, Jupiter is going to go retrograde and begin its retrograde journey for the year. That happens on September 4th. And there you can see the little red RX symbol that says Jupiter has gone retrograde. And Jupiter is going to spend the rest of the year retrograde, taking you on a growth journey, on a path to expansion and growing your confidence. Now, sometimes that can actually be an uncomfortable stretch, but it's a really great idea to utilize the Jupiter luck and charisma that you have in this area, so that you can really take advantage of and harvest all of the good stuff that wants to come to you in this area while Jupiter is here. So yeah, really good time for getting a better sense of who you are and projecting yourself into the world with more authenticity. Hey, Julia, what's up for the Caps about Venus, Mercury, and Mars this month?
Well, hey there, Capricorn. Venus, the love planet, starts the month retrograde in your 8th house. She's been retrograde here for a few weeks now, but very early on in the month, on September 3rd, she goes direct. So for the past few weeks with Venus retrograde in your 8th, you've been reviewing your relationship in terms of how much you guys can psychologically merge and grow together. This is a deeply psychological house, and it's also a house of finances too. So maybe you've been wondering about how shared finances also work in your relationship. Is one person paying more for the other? Do you want to take that next step and trust each other more and maybe get out a joint credit card? These could all be things that you're reviewing your relationship over. And if you're single, then you could be thinking about your next relationship in these sort of with these questions in mind. Now, after September 3rd, Venus goes direct in this house. And as she picks up speed, throughout the month, it's going to make things a lot easier in your relationship. You might be able to merge with your partner more intimately, because this is a very sexual house and Venus is a very pleasurable planet, also more psychologically and maybe even financially too, especially if you've gone through that whole review period. Now, Mercury, the planet that rules your mind, also starts off the month retrograde. This is happening in your 9th house of travel, and Mercury is a travel planet as well. So if you are doing any traveling now, expect it to be kind of a frustrating experience. Mercury retrogrades can bring delays. It can bring, missed flights, things of that nature. This is also a house of learning. So does Mercury also likes to learn. So you might think you have grasped something, maybe in school, maybe from some continuing education, and find that you have to relearn it again, which is a little frustrating. Then by September 6th, Mercury conjoins the Sun while retrograde. We call that Lesser Epiphany Day. You can get some insights and revelations into your life, and they're going to have to do with 9th house things. So this is a house of education. Maybe you get some insight into going back to school, whether you want to do that or not. Maybe it's in a legal matter in your life too, which is also ruled by this house, or maybe you finally decided where you might want to take your next trip. Then by September 15th, Mercury goes direct. That's going to make these things a lot easier, learning more easy, travel more easy for the rest of the month. Now, finally, Mars, the planet of action and activity, starts the month and stays the month in your 10th house. So Mars transits can be times where we're really, really driven, but where we can also run into frustration and conflict. And the 10th house is your career. It's your public reputation. It's authority figures in your life, basically anyone who tells you what to do. So Mars in this house all month might mean that you're very driven by career, which for you, Capricorn, is natural, that you're very ambitious, wanting to get a lot of things done, but maybe you're not seeing eye to eye with your coworkers or especially your boss, which is ruled by the 10th. Now, since the 10th can also be your public reputation, you might be getting a little frustrated if you feel like there are things going on with your reputation that you just totally disagree with, and you might have some fights with other people about how you're sort of known and how you kind of come off to others in a public way. That can also happen with this transit. But overall, I think the best use of it is just to get a lot of work done in your job, and maybe even with one of your parents too, which can be ruled by the 10th house.
Hi, Jamie here. Horoscopes and moon videos are fascinating, but they're also not personalized for you. That's why we run live workshops monthly where you can get answers about your own chart. This month's topic is optimizing Mercury retrograde for writers, managers, and learners. Mercury retrogrades are notorious for making a mess of your office, your paperwork, your projects, and your brain. But it doesn't have to be that way. In this workshop, I'll explain how to handle this difficult transit just in time for back to school. This workshop is expressly for our Demigod Patreon subscribers who pay only $15 a month for access to live events like this one. It's easy to sign up at the Patreon link in the description below. I'd love to see you there. Now let's get back to the video. I want to start with the new moon in Virgo, and that's happening on the 14th, and it lands in your 9th house. Now, the 9th house, as we've been saying, is a house of growth and expansion. It's a house of travel and multiculturalism. It's a great house for exploring and expanding, and most particularly, it has to do with your worldview and how your worldview, whether you got it from your religion of childhood or whether you've put it together in your adulthood, how your worldview helps you to bounce back when life is hard. So a new moon is a time for planting seeds. And your worldview, Capricorn, might be a worldview that's characterized by judgment, by perfectionism. And this could be a really great moon for rebooting your worldview to be a little bit more gentle on yourself and on other people. We're calling this one Seeds of Selfless Service. Service is a very strong theme for the Virgo-Pisces axis. And Virgo is about physical service. And so your worldview might be wrapped up with, how useful am I in the world? You know, do I deserve to be important? Do I, you know, am I growing in my usefulness that I bring to the world? And the Pisces, Neptune and Pisces here opposed this moon, also brings in spiritual service themes. So this moon could bring you a complete and total reboot of your worldview, and just kind of let go of some of the ways that you may be judgy towards yourself and towards other people in your entire view of the world, and how that contextualizes every experience that you have and every connection that you have with other people and every communication you have with other people. So I think this could be a pretty powerful moon for you. The second moon that we have coming this month is happening on the 29th. It is a full moon in Aries, which lands right here in your 4th house. Now, this moon in Aries is a little bit feisty, a little bit fierce. The moon, of course, when the moon is full, it's a time of strong emotions. Moon in Aries tends to have strong emotions and just tends to be pretty driving, pretty forceful, pretty willful, and pretty self-determined. It is opposed by a very rational and strategic and wise Pallas Athena and Sun here in Libra, and squared by Vesta in Cancer. We're calling this one the sacred fire of self-care, because Vesta is helping, maybe forcing a little bit of balance between Libra and Aries here, by bringing in themes of well, how do I take care of myself in this situation? And how do I take care of my emotions in this situation? Now, the moon itself is landing in your 4th house, and that's generally speaking a good thing. It sort of signals that this is a full moon under which you can create more of a cozy and welcoming atmosphere in your home. But because this moon is landing in Aries, you might find yourself being really demanding, or that there is a family member who's really demanding, and that this full moon brings conflict into your home. And you might even find that your coworkers, people that you know at work, or the presence of your career as a home factor, as a factor in your home, actually brings some balance and cools the jets of whoever it is that's getting so upset under this moon, whether that's you or somebody else in your household. So there's going to need to be a balancing of everybody's needs under this moon, and it might not be easy to arrive at, but it should bring insight and clarity to everyone involved. And then I want to talk about the seasonal shift. We're looking at an equinox. Early in the month, we see that there are planets spread out among 3 houses. The 8th house, bringing some of your attention to the realms of psychological depth and intimacy, financial sharing, those sorts of ways that you're very tangled up with other people in your life. And that over the course of the month, there's more emphasis in the 9th house, causing you to look at your worldview, making you ready to grow and expand as a person. And then on the equinox, the sun moves on into your 10th house. And this is pretty exciting, Capricorn, because this is such an important realm for you. The 10th house is ruled by Saturn, as is your Capricorn sign, whether it's your rising sign or your sun sign. Any way you look at it, the realm of career is so important to you. Now, this is the realm of authority too, and things that you have to build and develop in your life. And when this house is very full and busy, as it is at the second half of the month, then we find that your attention is really going towards, what am I building? How is my reputation going? How are things going at work? And here's what you've got to do about it. As long as the sun is passing through the 10th house, the sun represents the sunlight of your high quality attention. It's very nourishing. Anybody who you shine the light of your high quality, sunny attention on is going to like you more. They're gonna want to follow your leadership, and they can feel so noticed and seen when you do that. So bringing your best and most positive attention to the career arena while the sun is passing through this house, and it will be 30 days starting on the solstice. For that 30 days, paying attention in friendly, warm, gregarious ways to your coworkers, and bringing your most leaderly and shiny self to your career is what is going to get you noticed and help you move on up.
Well, that's all we have for you today. If you love Pandora Astrology's free and informative horoscopes, then please do hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share these videos with your friends.
You can find out so much more about how this month's transits affect you in very personal timing in our monthly Patreon workshops. Find the link in the description below to get started. Enjoy the equinox, and until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos.
Bye-bye.